Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Scott Petti, and I want to show you my latest project, Dwellings of the Past. And what I've done is I've created a whole book of every home I've ever lived in. And what I'm going to show you today is just one of those homes. This one I chose because it was the first home that I ever remembered living in, and it has something very special about it that is still there, and that is a birthday tree. My parents took me to the nursery when I was a little boy and picked out a tree that was exactly the same height as I was and planted it in our front yard, and it's still there today. And there it is, and this is the home then, and this is the home today. So let me show you how I did this. The first thing we want to start with are two pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. I then chose this paper. I like the color of this. It's kind of an earthy tone, kind of 70s feeling, and it has ferns in it, which I had in my yard. So it kind of just reminded me of the place. And I'm going to set that down. I'm not going to glue it yet. What I'm going to do is take one of my birthday tree leaves and place that where I want it. And with a pencil, I'm going to trace around this about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And then I'm going to remove this and cut my tracing. So when you're done, these are the papers that are cut, and now I need to adhere my leaf. I used Spray 77 for that. It's a fantastic adhesive, and it holds it real nice. And also I'm going to get it wet, and it will not come off. I then take some gel medium, and I'm going to brush that all over the leaf, and this is going to glue the tissue paper down. And go ahead and just kind of hit it around the edges and make sure you seal it in really good. And then lay the tissue paper right on top of that. And then with the same gel medium and a little paint, I chose a little raw sienna, just kind of antique this. It's also going to bring the color of the leaf out because it's an old brown leaf and you don't really see it very well against the paper. I'm going to brush that on. And then we just let that dry. So here's the leaf all dry. It's nice and protected. It's got a nice glaze on it. And now we're going to adhere the paper. I use 77 spray again and spray the back of your paper and just position it down. I'm going to put this checkered one down first because the fern pattern is going to lay on top of that. And there you go. Now we're ready to put the photographs and journaling. I chose a double-sided mat and also kind of paper that corresponded with what's going on here. And this is a photograph of the street leaving my house, and instead of just gluing it down and leaving it alone, I did a little slit in the corner and my picture just tucks right in there real nice. And I'm going to glue that with a glue stick. And just put that on even, and that photograph goes right there. Next, the journaling. I chose the same paper, and I used a little papyrus paper. I'm not sure if it's acid-free, so if you're really concerned, you may want to hit it with archival mist. And that's going to slide under there. And I added some more journaling, and I put another little mat behind it, but I tore the edges just to kind of break this whole thing up a little. And that goes right there, and I'm going to glue that down with a glue stick. Next, let's do the back. I chose the same pattern here, and I applied the 77 on the cardstock and put my paper down, and it's sitting real nice and flat. And now for the flap. I mounted the fern paper to another piece of cardstock, and I decided to use a little color in here because a color photograph is going to go in here, and I think the only color that should be on this whole page is the present day because everything else is in the past. So that goes on the back like so, and I made a little flap, a little hinge here, and I'm going to glue gun that down. And that will go right there. Now inside, to make this really custom, I put a magnet so that when you flip the page around, it's not going to pop open. And you just peel the back off and stick it on like so. And that's going to be a nice magnetic hinge. I also chose to use a sunflower, kind of like a doily paper, but I had sunflowers as a kid, and it's also nice bright cherry. And that's going to go there. Another piece of the green paper and my color photograph of the house today. And I used photo corners just to kind of finish it off, kind of to showcase it. And that goes down like so. And then here's the picture of the house when I lived there, and I made these little paper photo corners that kind of match all the other paper there. And that sits here. And I put the dates when I lived in the home, and that was for 5 years, and that's why I put 5 leaves on my page also, one for each year that I lived. So here's the project again. I put the address on the front. I used wooden letters and just glue gunned those down. And then inside, you see the birthday tree and some journaling, the leaves throughout the project, all the same technique. And this is the house driving away, going down the street, and some more journaling. In the back is the house then and now. And on the bottom I put, every few years I return to the old house on 1490 to reminisce my childhood and visit my birthday tree. So if someone says you're dwelling in the past, you can say, yes, I am, and let me show you. Until next time, thank you, and see you again.
For step-by-step instructions on how to create this week's project, download the design guide featuring special make-it-your-own bonus tips.